It's time to dust off Age of Wonders 4 with the announcement of the Empires and Ashes DLC, the largest paid expansion coming to Age of Wonders 4 with all kinds of new features, alongside the Golem update, a free update, again bringing a load of player-requested features and reworks to the game. My name is JumboPixel, sit back and relax and let's take a look at what's on offer. First and foremost, part of the Empires and Ashes DLC, taking the gameplay only from the trailer, we see the new culture, the Reaver culture, available and, of course, fully customizable in its avian form. We also see a brief look at 4 new tomes of magic, a new Seals of Power victory mechanic, as well as, of course, some brand new units, mechanized units, gunplay and warfare feature here, alongside new story missions and more. Moving through to the free Golem update, they highlight the Item Forge, a chance for us to craft items, a way to bring our vassals into the fight, new events across the world map, a reworked form trait system, and if that wasn't enough, improved water gameplay as well. And all of those features, of course, those 5, will be free as part of the Golem update, planned to launch alongside the paid DLC Empires and Ashes. With that quick overview out the way and a gloss through the gameplay that featured in the trailer, let's now delve a little deeper. And we're going to start that by taking a look at the paid features. I will, of course, be using the trailer footage for the most part, as well as some additional screenshots that I've dug up. The first thing that they show off, very briefly, for about a second, if you pause the trailer, are some new society traits, Hermit Kingdom up the top, and Reclaimers down the bottom. As they move through a little bit more, they start to show off some extra customization features. I'd note the Mohawk, of course, may be particularly important here, but of course more broadly what we're looking at here is the new form, the avian form. They say hatch your most cunning strategy yet with the new avian form, complete with a set of traits and customization options. And of course, we've taken a little bit of a look at those, but this form isn't alone. There are 5 other things that they highlight as key. The first one, and maybe one of my favorite ones, this new hardware, the new hardware and machinery that's associated, of course, with the new culture added into Age of Wonders 4. The culture's called the Reaver culture. They say it's industrial might that fuels conquests and raids. These expert engineers have mastered the art of binding magic to technology to achieve unparalleled power and dominance. That's the description, as you can see here on your screen, that they deliver very quickly and briefly on the Steam page. And I think some of the new units, the new machinery, and everything that we've seen so far in this quick video has probably highlighted that. It's maybe the feature I'm most excited for. Rolling out very slowly on your screen, but then quickly taking a look at some screenshots, you can see 3 out of the 4 new tomes of magic. The first one, Construct, a duality tome between Materium and Order. And it seems to me that most of them have that dual factor associated with them. This one, the Tome of Serving, which is quite a cool looking one, unlocked at tier 4. You can see it has a golem, a shield, banishment, and astral severance among its features. And then the Tome of Alchemy at tier 1 with Materium and Nature, providing a mysterious tonic, a unit, fumigation, that kind of thing. They say that the 4 new tomes will sharpen our anti-magic prowess, unlock the secrets of transmutation, and muster legions of machines and automatons, bring forth magical, mechanical wonders, and dominate the battlefield like never before. And in the screenshots, we see a little glimpse at some cool-looking battlefields, as well as, of course, those brand new forms, and they're kind of almost steampunk-like industrialized cities, buildings, units. It all looks pretty cool. I'm a fan of this general style. Speaking of style, you'll note some UI changes around the borders and a new yield up the top there too. Next up, they announced 2 new story missions that we'll be able to play through, as well as, of course, in-game events that will accompany this DLC. Alongside of that, they also mentioned a new Ancient Wonder and Infestation location, a new Hidden Wonder, and a derelict workshop to explore. Finally, of course, they noted new wildlife, unit mounts, and 6 music tracks to bring the sort of theme of the DLC together. And that all also brings about one extra for experts thing, a Seals of Power victory mechanic. Locate and claim the Seals of Power to gain control of the Astral Sea and hold them long enough to win. We'll come back to that a bit later. But first, I'd like to ask, if you like this kind of stuff, please consider giving me a like, maybe a cheeky subscribe. It takes a while to edit this stuff together, and I really do appreciate your support. But moving along to the Golem update, these are the free changes coming to Age of Wonders 4 alongside this DLC. And the very first thing you'll notice is the item forge, where we can seemingly infuse our items, our shields, our swords, etc., with these additional enchantments, buffs, infusions, as they call them here. And from the screenshot, you can see it does a variety of things: damage, reflection, mitigation, as well as different types of damage and resistance. Moving along, we also note the reworked form trait system. This one particularly interesting. Of course, we saw at the beginning that there will be other traits that we can customize, Reclaimers, for example, Hermit Kingdom, part of the paid DLC, but let's take a closer look at those traits, and we'll take it in slow-mo. You can see that they have 5 available trait points now, a change from the old system. Some traits cost 2, others cost 3. I mean, the natural pairing there is, of course, a 2 plus a 3, so at this point it doesn't seem like it's overly customizable. They're not, for example, listed 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, but nonetheless, a new trait system with, of course, new traits within it. Next up, we hear about war coordination inside of the free Golem update. Here we see essentially 2 different screens interacting with a vassal to try and bring them into conflict. First, selecting their target, and secondly, with a little bit of Imperium, and alongside a slightly reworked trade system there by the looks too, you can send them into war, in this case after 8 turns. Nice to see that in the game. We also, of course, as I touched on earlier, see some new events and improved water gameplay. And they really give us no details about what this actually means just yet. I'm sure there'll be more to come. Other than, of course, earlier on, with the paid DLC, we noted the Seals of Power victory mechanic. I do hope that this is not just a paid feature. Not a huge fan of victory conditions behind paid DLC, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out and how it fits in with some of the other mechanics in the game too, I suppose. One final thing to note, the where, when, and how much. Empires and Ashes is coming on the 7th of November, 2023. It will be the second DLC, and I basically fell off my chair when I googled it and saw it was US $49.76 according to a Google search. However, don't fear, that seemed to have actually let me down. Reminding myself and going back to the expansion pass, the prices that we've seen before, that they still have on their website. You can see that this DLC will be twice the price of Dragon Dawn at $20 US. You could probably get it on a bit of a discount if you bought it inside of the expansion pass. Of note, it's twice the price, probably because, at least you'd want to hope, it's twice as good, i.e. much more content. And it does seem that way, maybe, on first glance. Here you can also see, if you're curious about what's coming next, Primal Fury and Eldritch Realms are the other 2 DLCs that will be launching in Q1 and then Q2 in 2024, and they themselves, of course, bring their own unique flavor and flair, again, likely leading in on cultures, on tomes, on races, on forms, and of course, new gameplay features. And that, my friends, concludes this almost out of nowhere, but expected, because it's been actually quite a few months since the last DLC. I was sort of looking at my watch and the calendar thinking, gee, I've got 4 more to go in the first year of the game, 3 more to go, sorry, after releasing Dragon Dawn. They better get a move on. And maybe with a slight delay to let Cities Skylines bask in its glory on the 24th of October, here we have it. That's my dubious speculation. The next DLC for Age of Wonders 4. Let me know what you think below for the free and paid changes. Hopefully, this is one of the best coverage pieces, analysis pieces of this DLC on YouTube. That's what I strive to be. All of your feedback is welcome below. I'll see you next time.